Grok 4. This is the latest artificial intelligence system. And let me be very, very clear. This is a moment that demands everyone's full attention. We are now at the crossroads where promise and peril are going to collide.
Some of the world's most dangerous secrets hide in plain sight. The legendary book of King Solomon, said to wield control over spirits and power beyond reason, has resurfaced in whispers. Modern AI may have finally unlocked its ancient code. But if the rumors are true, what untold forces could now be at humanity's fingertips? For some time now, AI has revolutionized history, from reconstructing ancient scrolls to translating dead languages. It has proven its ability to solve human puzzles deemed impossible. This time around, however, the technology appears to have turned its gaze towards something far darker. King Solomon's most guarded secret. A discovery both remarkable and terrifying, given the legend of the world's most powerful magic. For 3,000 years, the fragments of Solomon's grimoire, the supposed instruction manual for commanding spirits, were dismissed as corrupt folklore. A new kind of intelligence, generative AI, has treated the scattered texts like a big, messy puzzle. The important discovery is that the AI has put together all the known parts of Solomonic stories, showing a clear plan for spiritual power. King Solomon's Seals. Decoding the geometry of power. The Bible paints King Solomon as a man of wisdom, wealth, and devotion. He commissioned the monumental project, managed the vast resources, and oversaw the 7-year construction of the first temple, fulfilling the vision of his father, King David. The materials used were real, cedar and cypress, which came from his friend King Hiram I of Tyre. The workforce was huge. 30,000 Israelites plus 150,000 foreign workers were brought in to cut and shape the giant stones used in building the temple. Solomon's leadership and vision guided every step, from laying the foundation to the final dedication, and so the temple was built. Yet, throughout history, rumors arose about Solomon, and they called him Solomon the Sorcerer, the master of forbidden magic. The texts about him, called Fragments of Solomon's Grimoire, how did they come to be? Did he really possess such powers? And if so, where did this power come from? Could the size of this achievement have created a legend that went beyond the physical world? This blueprint are compiled texts, like the famous Lesser Key of Solomon, are not single, perfect scripts. Instead, they are large collections of older myths and legends. While the earliest surviving copies date to the medieval era, over 1,000 years after Solomon's reign, they are always credited to him. Why? Did these magical instruction sets simply use his name for ultimate authority? Or could the knowledge they contain, the specific rituals and symbols, point back to a forgotten, powerful tradition from the king's own era? The primary source of this spiritual power is detailed in the ancient non-canonical text, the Testament of Solomon. The story is startlingly simple. When Solomon noticed his servant was being tormented and drained by the demon Ornias, he prayed to God. In response, the archangel Michael delivered a small signet ring, the Seal of Solomon, engraved with God's sacred name. According to legends, this ring was the ultimate tool, granting Solomon divine authority to subdue all the demons of the earth. He used it to summon, question, and compel an entire roster of spirits, including their leader, Beelzebul, forcing them to reveal their names, their activities, and the angel that could stop them. The demons were then put to work, performing the hard labor of the temple's construction. This story blurs the line between legend and instruction, creating a strange twist of history. Here, Al must move through a maze where faith and fact have been tangled for thousands of years. Its mission is clear yet challenging: to uncover the true purpose behind the ancient rituals. And now, we turn to the most fragile part of the mystery: the sacred geometry of the sigils. The ultimate product of Solomon's power is preserved in the most famous texts: the Lesser Key of Solomon, or the Lemegeton. The first and most critical section, the Ars Goetia, contains a catalogue of the 72 spirits that Solomon allegedly bound with the divine authority of his ring. These are not vague demons, but very specific beings, listed carefully like a modern army roster: kings, dukes, marquises, and earls. We know their rank, the groups they lead, and the exact knowledge they were forced to share. The knowledge gained from these spirits was entirely practical and powerful. For example, Paimon, a great king, is said to teach all arts, sciences, and hidden secrets of the earth. Asmodeus, the prince, was compelled to share knowledge of geometry, astronomy, and crafts skills that many mystics believe were crucial for the precise and mathematically perfect design of the temple itself. The Goetia transforms command into a precise, almost mechanical process. Yet, hidden within this detailed list of names and powers is an even deeper mystery: the specific piece of information that the AI can supposedly analyze and interpret. This suggests that beyond the surface of ritual and hierarchy, there is a layer of data or knowledge that only advanced computation can fully unravel. For centuries, the most guarded elements of the grimoires have been the sigils, or magical seals, assigned to each of the 72 spirits. These are complex, unique, geometric drawings. To human scholars, they function as fixed, sacred emblems, the spirit's visual identity, a key to its presence. The AI-driven approach introduces a purely speculative hypothesis. What if we view the sigils not as symbolic art, but as geometric data structures? The narrative suggests a form of infernal encryption, a geometric code where the spirit's coordinate, rank, and required ritual parameters are encoded in the angles and intersections of the symbol. This is where we need to stop and think. If the AI assumes that the sigil is a kind of code that, once cracked, will give complete power. But traditional magic shows a different idea. In occult practices, a sigil is a symbol used to help focus the mind. Mystics say the true power doesn't come from how perfect the lines are, but from the magician's strong intent and will. The question is this: if a small mistake in a sigil's lines, like a wrong angle, causes the spell to fail, is it because the symbol's geometry wasn't right, or because the magician couldn't focus their will properly? We have to choose between two ideas. Either the sigil is a strict, coded design, or a flexible symbol used to focus the mind. The success of the AI's project depends entirely on which one is true. The AI is trying to fix the big problem of human mistakes and inconsistencies. By analyzing every known piece of every sigil, it looks for the most common geometric pattern, the one drawn most often. But the reason these mistakes happen shows a long history of censorship and intentional breaking apart that has shaped the occult world for thousands of years. The very chaos the AI wants to control. The great fragmentation and the historical inconsistency. The AI's entire project rests on its ability to correct errors. But what errors are we talking about? The legend of the Forbidden Book suggests a single text was deliberately destroyed by authorities. The historical truth is far more chaotic. The Solomonic grimoires, including the Lesser Key, were never just one book. Instead, they belong to a genre, a group of separate manuscripts copied, translated, and edited over centuries across Europe. This means the texts weren't broken apart by intentional suppression, but rather by the gradual natural process of human mistakes and inconsistencies over time. This historical process created a huge data challenge, the very problem the AI aims to fix. Scribes were humans, not machines, working long hours by flickering candlelight. Every slip of the hand, every misdrawn line, compounded over time, making the task of reconstructing the original sigil designs most impossibly complex. This causes inconsistencies like nomenclature drift, which means that a demon's name, like Baal, might be written as Baal or Baal in different manuscripts, which can lead to changes in the demon's rank or power attributed to it. This wasn't merely a spelling mistake. For practitioners, altering a name could make the invocation ineffective. As a result, later scribes often corrected the name again, which only added further confusion to interpreting the text. Another issue arises with ritual contradictions, where specific instructions about the exact hour, day, or lunar phase for an invocation directly conflict with earlier versions, creating incompatible and perplexing methods. For instance, the precise planetary hour or lunar phase might differ depending on local astrological traditions, complicating the consistency of the rituals even more. This ongoing change shows that grimoires reflect evolving human interpretations rather than unchanging spiritual laws. The sigil distortion, which refers to how the intricate geometric designs of the sigils can be slightly altered due to a scribe's tired hand or a faulty quill, causing small changes in key angles or intersections. Over time, these discrepancies built up across numerous manuscript copies, resulting in modern scholars encountering many slightly different seals for the same spirit. The key challenge in textual criticism is determining whether a variation was an accidental error or a deliberate magical alteration. This is exactly the historical complexity that AI must carefully navigate. This system endured not because it was secretly guarded, but because its ideas were so powerful they couldn't be overlooked. Although religious authorities banned and suppressed grimoires to protect the Church's spiritual control, their censorship mainly pushed these texts into secrecy. The outcome was paradoxical. The censorship didn't destroy the grimoires, but instead pushed them into secrecy. These texts were copied by hand and secretly shared among networks of magicians and scholars, allowing the knowledge to survive through underground circulation. The suppression of these texts actually made them more attractive and mysterious. The Key of Solomon is a great example. It survived for centuries through handwritten copies, spreading across Europe in many languages and constantly being changed and improved by those who owned it. Later, the invention of the printing press made censorship even harder by allowing fast and cheap printing, which helped spread these texts even more widely. The AI acts as the ultimate textual critic by leveraging computational power to analyze thousands of data points, such as corrupted names, contradictory rituals, and distorted geometries, to determine the most statistically probable original version. Its role is to reconstruct a corrected history, producing an optimized version of Solomon's magical instructions free from centuries of human error and underground alterations. This process exemplifies the critical function of computational historiography in preserving and clarifying esoteric knowledge. The AI's analysis reveals how fragile these ancient texts really are despite their corruption and inconsistencies. The Solomonic system survived because it was preserved and practiced by powerful esoteric groups throughout history. This endurance highlights the lasting psychological impact and strength of the core ideas within the system. The AI's analysis reveals the fragility of the Solomonic texts, the errors, the corruption, and the lack of a single author. The texts survived because human intention bridged the gaps where factual accuracy faltered, transforming the grimoires into instruments for personal mastery. Solomon's narrative, His famed control over both the physical and spiritual worlds offered a crucial foundation for these groups. They systematized the scattered rituals, trusting that following the overall framework was sufficient, using this structure to channel their individual wills. In the 19th century, esoteric groups formalized and embraced the Solomonic system deeply. Freemasonry centered its mythology around Solomon's temple, highlighting the king's architectural and moral significance. Meanwhile, groups like the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn practiced rituals from the Lesser Key, interpreting the 72 spirits symbolically as archetypes of the human psyche, internal forces to be understood and controlled. The survival of these texts owes much to human intent, which filled in gaps where factual accuracy was lacking. To truly appreciate the AI's capability, we can look at its successes in code breaking, which validate its practical value. In computational linguistics, AI has made significant advances. Machine learning algorithms have helped reconstruct and translate highly fragmented, ancient cuneiform texts and have identified authorship patterns in anonymized works. These breakthroughs showcase how AI can handle complex linguistic puzzles, reinforcing its role as a powerful tool in historical and textual analysis. In these cases, the AI is successful because the code is linguistic data, governed by predictable grammatical and statistical rules. It is a true encryption problem where a key exists. This success highlights the ultimate failure of the AI's central hypothesis regarding the grimoire. The AI can correct misspelled names, but when it analyzes the Solomonic sigils, it is not looking at language or grammar. It is looking at abstract geometric drawings. AI models are trained to identify the unique linguistic fingerprint of an author and to analyze minute details of handwriting. Studies have used AI to analyze historical documents, helping to date manuscripts and trace intellectual networks. For example, AI can help map the intellectual and social networks of historical figures by analyzing their correspondence and writing styles. This success shows that AI is a powerful tool for solving problems of linguistic and historical data, not supernatural puzzles. The AI proves that when faced with a true linguistic data encoding problem, it excels. But when faced with a symbolic problem powered by human belief and will, the algorithms falter. This is the crucial line. The AI has corrected the scribal errors of the text, but it cannot decode the spiritual intent behind the symbol. The AI may have failed to decode the spirits because, as scholars already know, these texts are not true and do not have any real magical code, but its computational analysis gives us something else entirely: a statistically clarified dataset of centuries of human ritual instruction. This allows us to ask the most unsettling question of all. What happens when an algorithm analyzes the architecture of human intent, the dark implications of AI, and the final verdict? Now that we have concluded the investigation, we know what the results would be if the Solomonic texts were real and how AI can be used for textual analysis. The idea that an AI has uncovered King Solomon's secret knowledge or created a magical plan is not true. The Solomonic texts are considered ancient legends and not verified historical documents. There is no solid evidence that AI was actually used in these texts. Most stories about AI cracking such ancient secrets are based on speculation rather than documented research. This is because such secrets are based on myths and ancient stories, not something that can be solved or created by a computer. While the described computational process could be used in serious research, the popular story around it is misleading. These real-world examples clearly show how AI's true strengths lie in careful, methodical work, rather than flashy or mythical breakthroughs. Unlike the sensationalized Grok cracks Solomon story, AI in scholarship helps uncover details, patterns, and insights that support human experts, while also having clear limits. It can't magically unlock ancient secrets, but can analyze data in ways people can't easily do alone. Researchers and the public have used AI and machine learning in projects such as the Vesuvius Challenge to study high-resolution CT scans of the carbonized Herculaneum scrolls. The AI detects ink patterns, enabling teams to virtually unroll and read parts of these 2,000-year-old texts without causing any physical damage. AI is also being used to crack genuine historical ciphers. Projects like the Decrypt project successfully used AI to decipher encrypted letters written by Mary, Queen of Scots, uncovering a conspiracy. Similarly, Google DeepMind's Ithaca model was trained on ancient Greek texts to help historians restore damaged inscriptions, date them, and determine their original location. This ability to restore damaged, real linguistic codes highlight. AI models can be trained to recognize an author's unique linguistic and stylistic fingerprint. For example, studies using AI to analyze the Bible's text have found that different parts of the books of Samuel differ in style, suggesting they were written by different authors or during different periods. AI models like Enoch combine radiocarbon dating with handwriting analysis to estimate the age of undated manuscripts, bringing greater accuracy to historical timelines. In all these real examples, AI serves as a sophisticated tool for recognizing patterns and uncovering genuine historical and linguistic insights that are published and peer-reviewed. It does not produce magical results, nor can it confirm or correct any supernatural claims found in the texts it studies. The AI hasn't unlocked any supernatural secrets, but instead highlights how human beliefs have changed and varied over time. Its real strength is in helping scholars decode the language and history of ancient cultures, as well as understanding how people have tried to make sense of fear and the unknown throughout history. The AI's power isn't just in what it can do technically, but in how it helps us reflect on why stories like King Solomon's have captured human imagination for thousands of years. It pushes us to look deeper into the cultural and philosophical meanings behind these enduring legends, beyond all the viral hype. Solomon's original quest was not for magical power. It was for wisdom, the ability to understand the inner workings of creation. This philosophical drive, the search for a unified field theory of existence, is the real legacy of the legend. The power of the forbidden book is real. It reminds us that humanity's oldest desire, control over the unseen through perfect knowledge, is now within reach of the algorithm. But the machine's greatest secret is that the secrets it unlocks are ultimately secrets about ourselves, our deep-seated need for structure, and the patterns we create when we try to codify the divine. As AI continues to evolve, its potential to unlock even more hidden histories and forgotten languages grows exponentially. By bridging technology and human curiosity, AI not only preserves our past, but also enriches our understanding of cultural heritage, inspiring new discoveries that connect us across time. This fusion of innovation and tradition promises to transform how we engage with history for generations to come. What do you think is the true power behind ancient legends like King Solomon's story? Wisdom, magic, or something else? And how do you feel technology like AI changes the way we understand history and belief? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, click on the next video on your screen. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries.